2 or 3 weeks ago, I had this spiritual impression that was just so clear. And it was this very clear feeling of leave your job, write your book. And that's scary. So maybe over 20 years ago, I was just playing as a kid. And you have make-believe as a kid, and you think of all these, you have this imagination, you think of these stories and these ideas. And I always loved imagining worlds and imagining characters and imagining things. But there was one particular story, one particular world, one particular character that resonated deeply inside of me and inside of my mind. And as the years went by, it just continued to be there. And as I got older, as I went into high school, got into sports, when I graduated from high school and went on to go to college, to meet my wife, to have my children, to work a full-time soft corporate job in software, I lost sight of that. I think I forgot what that felt like. But it's still in the back of my mind. There was this story that just kept hitting me again and again. When I'd be on vacation or on the weekends, when I would just be kind of daydreaming or looking out at the backyard, watching the birds in the trees, these ideas would come back into my mind. And the thing is I always thought that, once I had the family, once we got in the house, once I had the job, that everything would just be complete at that point, that everything would be achieved. And it's certainly something I'm very grateful for. And there's so many things in life that we have to be grateful for, that we have achieved in our lives. But there are those things where we think to ourselves, I kind of wish I would have done that. So after working in software for the last 7 years, working for a company over the last 3 years, about everything going really well, about 2-3 weeks ago, I had this realization. That if I want to share this story with the world, if I want to really make this a reality, I need to do something more than just write for an hour on the weekend or spend 30 minutes every other day, writing a few words down on a page. Because 6 or 9 months ago, it really started to hit me that I want to write this book. I want to share this story with the world. And I don't know if it's going to be the best story. I don't know if it's going to be something that everybody will love. But I do know that there's meaning to it for me. Although I'd written things in the past, never seriously, never intending to fully write a novel, to fully get into this, to actually publish a story, an epic fantasy novel story to share with the world. I'd never actually thought that'd be a reality, and I never really went down that path. But over the last 6 to 9 months, it's become very clear to me. It's been very strong in my mind. And so I started learning. I've started, watching a lot of videos like this of people's experiences of how they got into it, of how they started their journey, as well as watching more experienced, expertise, successful authors, and taking different classes and learning different skills beyond what I've already just learned over the years in writing to really be able to write something. It occurred to me that if I don't make this the priority for me in my life, in my family's life, that maybe I'll never actually get there, because it's a lot of work. And as I've been working more and more, and work had been getting more and more stressful, and having less time even to be with my family and kids, I had to put the book on this, on the back burner. But 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had this spiritual impression that was just so clear. And it was this very clear feeling of leave your job, write your book. And that's scary. It's scary to leave your corporate secure job that you're good at, to do something that has no guarantees, to do something that's a complete risk. It's a complete leap of faith, to take something from your mind, to put it on a page, to work on it really hard, to make it the best it can be, and then trust that someone else is going to read that, and that it's going to resonate well enough with them that they're going to share it with others, that they're going to want to buy that, and that it's going to influence people in the world. It's a really scary thing. It's hard to trade something that guarantees in income and livelihood for something that's a complete unknown. And certainly there's a path for everybody, and I never necessarily intended to take this path. But when that hit me, after talking to my wife about it and making the decision within a matter of days, I resigned from my corporate job that I had very high security in, great team around me, great people, and a long-term career trajectory. And I walked away because I know that there's a purpose and there's a reason in writing what I write, even if it's just for me. But I want to do it the very best that I can. And I want to make it the very best that I can make it. And I want for when someone picks it up, when they read it, to feel the meaning behind it, to feel the effort that went into those pages, into those words, into those experiences and characters, into that world. Creating this channel and sharing my journey with others is, I think, part of that. Because as I have watched others and learned of their journey and their experiences, it's become very clear to me that it's important to share the things that we learn. It's important to go on journeys together and not to do it alone, because there's a lot of people in the same boat where you might feel afraid. You might feel afraid to do the thing that you're feeling called to do, that you're being pulled towards, that God is reaching out and drawing, your attention to. And I just know that even a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't know where that path will lead. But I know that today, this is the right next step. To write, to create, to believe, to have hope, and to take that leap of faith and to create something that hopefully will make a difference in my life, in my family's life, and maybe will make a difference for somebody else. And to follow that thing in your heart that's pulling you in a different direction, and something that may not make sense to the world, but it makes sense to that kid inside of you. And maybe all along that was the voice that we were meant to follow.